an elder in the church, came to me and asked me, well, you're too young like to get married. Why the rush?
Is she pregnant?
Is she pregnant? Maybe you can pray and fast more so that you have self-control if that is why you're getting married.
My father is not in my life. He's not been there since I was 17. After he left, my mom was very ill. She had a tumor.
Let no one despise your youth, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity. 1 Timothy 4 and verse 12.
Why we trying to live like there's no consequences. I'm ready for change. Yeah, I'm really ready for change.
Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. I am Clement and this is Leticia. We welcome our new subscribers.
Yes.
For the like, the support, and for the views.
The views.
Yes.
So guys,
yes.
The views are going up. The subscribers are not quite matching the views, you know what I'm saying? So please, if you are enjoying our content, if you are being edified, subscribe, I beg, subscribe,
Hit
it's
that
free.
subscribe button.
Just click it.
Yeah.
You can notice that the background is a little bit different.
Yeah.
That is because I am actually at a friend's place. I moved out of my house, my mom's house that is, just for a month or so until we get married and then we can live together.
Yeah.
So that's why. So this is the setting for now. You might notice that there's a background noise. Her house is like close to the road, so that's why.
Alright guys, so sorry for pausing the video, but we just wanted to let you know that we were struggling while filming this thing because we chose to sit by the window, which we will not be doing next time. But you will notice that the lighting changes drastically throughout the video. So please bear with us, okay? It's temporary. All right, back to the video.
So guys, we wanted to start this little tradition. We're calling it heart warmers, okay? So basically it's to highlight the comment section because Clement and I, we really do take a lot of pleasure reading your comments. We enjoy it and we feel like it's the only way that we really get to kind of like interact with you guys. We'll see how you guys are interacting with the things we're saying, and then there's some comments, or all the comments rather, are very interesting to read and heartwarming, and we just wanted to highlight a few of them that you know were heartwarmers.
Niels
Martinez.
Hey, shout out to you, Naomi. So one part that she said that really heartwarms us that warms our heart is thank you for always pointing us back to scriptures. That is something that we want to continue doing here on this channel. We don't want this channel to just be about us, but we want to always point back to Christ, point back to the scriptures, so that it will be more edifying for you guys.
So please keep us in prayers as well, so that we can, keep that up and make sure that everything is really Christ-centered and back to scripture. So now into the video. Today's video is going to be about the realities of getting married young. If you've watched the last video, you probably remember that we said that we do not encourage people to date for too long before getting married, Christians especially. However, the realities of it, it's not easy.
Let's get real.
Especially when you're in your early 20s, especially when you're still in school, when you're still building financially. It's not the easiest thing to do, and yet we're doing it.
Yeah.
Why? And of course we're going to talk about why it's not easy, the realities of it. We're going to share it with you guys, but let's start with why we decided to get married young.
Well, at least for me, once I knew that you were the one for me and I went to the Lord and prayed about it, I think it was just a matter of when, right? It was just a question of, is it wise to wait longer and date and potentially fall into temptation, or to get married now and honor ourselves, honor you, and also honor the Lord. So that was my mindset, and also us being mature and being in a space where we know that it is not going to be easy. It comes with a lot of responsibilities, and then we are going to be able to potentially like deal with it with the strength of God, of course. So that was sort of the mindset going to this.
Sorry guys, you're gonna notice that sometimes we look down because we did take the time to write out some points that we don't want to forget mentioning. So that's why we just keep looking down, just so you know. Nothing. So another reason why we felt like it was, wise or good to get married young was because we do want to kind of like enjoy each other in your youth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the Bible just does talk about rejoicing in the wife of your youth, right? So things like traveling together, or you know, just I don't know, living life together. We feel like being married, it kind of removes restrictions for sure. Like say we were to have a trip together, we would have to book separate rooms for one. So just the whole vibes, you know what I'm saying, of being young with a spouse rather than being young and then doing all those things, but then living in sin, you know.
Right.
So there's that aspect of it as well.
And also our desire to build together as a couple. That is something that we really wanted to do. And the Bible does say that 2 is better than 1. So we felt that like we were both at a space where we are very, I guess, like mature for our age. So like building together is something that was very important for us. Like for me, I've always had it in mind that I don't want to have it all together, then have someone come and enjoy what I built. Yeah, like I want to go through the struggle. I want to go through like the goods and bads with the person, so that when we are enjoying eventually, we'll be like, okay, this is what we went through, and
they understand the struggle a
yes,
little bit more.
Yeah, and this is how far we've come. So enjoying together like feels more real and special.
I think that's pretty much it for why we decided to do that. Other than, of course, that, you know what I'm saying, love with this person, and yeah, sexual purity. Yeah, especially when you're physically attracted to the person that you're dating. It's not the easiest thing to be dating for 5, 4, even 3 years of. It's not the easiest thing to be dating for that long. So those are some of the reasons why we thought it was, just better to get married now rather than wait it out. And then, of course, with making that decision, there is reactions, right? So how did our surrounding react? Were they encouraging? Where was there some negative, comments and whatnot? So we wanted to talk about that a little bit. Just when Clement was about to propose to me, 1 week before the proposal, a lot was going on from his side, from my side. From your side, babe, there was this conversation.
Yeah, so someone that I respect a lot, an elder in the church, came to me and asked me, well, you're too young to get married. Why the rush?
Is she pregnant?
Are you getting married into her because you've seen something in her that you've not seen in all the ladies? Basically, like, what is the point of rushing? Basically, you're still in school. You're not financially there. That's it. Enjoy life a little bit as a single man. Maybe you can pray and fast more, so that you have self-control if that is why you're getting married.
Like if the temptation to do something is too much, fast and pray.
Fast and pray about it, and I know from Leticia's side as well, the fact that she had not finished school, so from her side there was that pressure as well, that why so quick, right?
Even our families at first were not not every family member, of course, but not every family member was on board with the idea, especially because me, without going into too much detail, my father is not in my life. He's not been there since I was 17. After he left, my mom was very ill. She had a tumor, and I had to work like 2 jobs, at one point 3 jobs, to get myself through school. At one point I was like working full-time, doing school. Anyways, it was something, right? And then just me graduating or going to school and getting a university degree was something that was like so important, not only for me, but for my mom and my family in general. So when Clement came along and we were like, okay, we're gonna get married, the first thing is like school, right? And I wasn't saying that I'm dropping out of school. I wasn't saying that I won't go to school anymore, but obviously, what I'm saying. So
yeah, and also like for me being, I guess, like a pastor's kid, there's a lot of expectations, right, that is placed on you as a pastor kid, right? Sometimes it feels as if your life has already been set, and you have to walk in a certain way that people have already laid for you. So there was just a lot of things that I had to stand my ground on.
The Bible does talk about how you know, the woman is a weaker vessel. However controversial that might be to some people, I feel like that season in our lives when just like that conversation that he had the week before he was about to propose, guys, like put it into perspective. This man has a ring, he's about to propose, and then you have this elder calling him to kind of like pretty much dissuade him from doing so and giving some counsel that is it biblical? You know what I'm saying? And I'm, on the other hand, dealing with some other, you know, stuff as well. Not everyone is on board, and I'm already like, shh, you know, about it. And in that moment, I see how Clement didn't tell me about that conversation for like the whole week. By God's grace, he has brothers in Christ that are also very present in his life, and he was able to share them because he definitely needed the space to confide in someone. But he was really sheltering me from a lot of things that were coming in right, left, and center, because on my side I was also like overwhelmed dealing with some stuff. So we're gonna get into how we reacted to all of this happening.
Well, first of all, obviously not everything that they were saying was wrong. You know, like some of them were coming from very I guess like concerning place, you know,
and
such
valid.
as, and very valid points. It is true that like we are still in school, although we don't have a lot of schooling left. Yes, we're young. We've not experienced life as probably they have. We try to as much as possible, I guess, understand like where they were coming from. We sat down and then, you know, we talked like through all these concerns. But at the end of the day, like we told ourselves that we know what we want. Like we're the only people that know that, okay, like we're in this. We know that, yes, it's not going to be easy, but we are ready to deal with whatever struggle and whatever good and bad comes with this.
I think a huge part of it also was having to put limits in the respectful boundaries, in the respectful and, you know, still honoring, you know, our parents and the elders and the people that we have in high regard. It's another question whether we still have some of those people in high regards, but knowing that we are the ones that are in this relationship, we're the ones that are going through what we're going through, and then when we get married, we're the ones that will live with each other. You know, I feel like that was one thing that we wanted to keep in mind. So when this man is having a conversation with an elder, he's expressing that, you know, it's harder, or it's getting harder, you know, for us to be just dating because, you know, I'm a man and I'm not a log of wood, like I've said before, you know, and the advice is that fast and pray more. You know, there's something there, you know, so he's the one that knows how the shoe is pinching him.
Right. and I also knew that it was not only wrong just because it was coming from him, but if we go through, I guess, like the Bible, Paul talks about in the book of Corinthians, I don't remember where, but he says that if you are burning with passions, he advised young men to get married. So I know that I had a biblical ground like to stand on. It was not just that like they were coming to me. Obviously they're older than me and they know more than me. So I was not trying to refute their arguments just based on my own views. But I did quote Bible to also, I guess,
back up how you were seeing things.
To support like what I was saying.
And just in general, guys, you know, we're keeping it real that it was a season that was not easy. Right now, there are some other things that make it not easy. But in terms of even some of the people that were not on board at first, in case you're wondering, most of them are on board. Our families specifically are very much excited, on board, and very much involved in the planning. So by God's grace, I feel like it's also those little things that allow us to see that, okay, initially it's almost like we had to stand our ground. We had to like fight that we want this, we want each other, and we are doing the right thing according to our convictions. And it's like God clearing the way, or so just kind of like validates everything, which we're very happy about.
Because we did want to, again, honor our parents, honor those around us in the best way that we could, right? So as everything is coming together, we know that it is the hand of God in it.
The reality, because we do want to keep it real with you guys, the reality is that when they talked about the finances, they were not wrong. Because say you're in your 30s or more and financially more there's a lot of things that we have to take into account now that you probably wouldn't have to take into account. So in that sense, it would be easier to get married later. However, there's a line perhaps that most people around that age would cross, you know, especially when it has to do with the whole purity aspect of things, right? So I feel like in everything, it's so easy to have idols in our lives. Now your idol to some extent is the education, is the finances, is the da-da-da-da. It's whatever it is that you will value more than what it is that God wants you to value. Because the Bible does talk about us being the temple of God. It talks about our bodies meant to be, you know, preserved or holy for Him, right? So depending on what you will put first more than what the will of God is, or what His word or His commands are, that thing can be an idol. So in our case, it's like we didn't want to compromise on the purity aspect.
Right. And also we felt as if that where they were coming from, probably they meant well, but then was it coming from a place where it's like instead of helping us get to where we wanted to get and hearing from why we are doing this, more energy was spent on trying to dissuade us. It was not that they were trying to force anything on us, but at the same time, it's like, talk to us and let us also tell you this and this and this and this is why.
Hear us out.
Exactly, you know, hear us out. But I think that was not really the case for those, at least, that were trying to not encourage us into the process.
Basically, another way to how we responded to all that was being said, especially when they were saying that you're not done school, which is true that we're not done school. And it's like, guys, we know we're not done school. We know we're building financially. We know that it's not easy to do it at this age, but at the same time, it's like we know that this is where our conviction is, and this is where we're moving forward. So of course we're not on school, and even in our reality right now, there is the wedding planning and everything else, and we still have to consider school. We have to factor in school tuition and all of those things, right? And I feel like even with us, you know, before they would have those conversations with us, it's like last year we sat down because we knew where we were going, and we had a conversation about and budgeting, right? And of course it goes with everyone's view, conviction, and I'm not here promoting that anyone should put their own education on hold for something or for a man or whatnot. But for us in our relationship, how we saw things was that we sat down last year. He had just finished college and he just wanted to work because he wanted to get married, and he figured, and I don't think there was anything wrong with that, but he figured that it would be just good to just work and save. And then on the other hand, I was like, you know, babe, I feel like school is important, and you as a man, you know, it's important for you to get that, you know, to get that degree, because it places you in a better place, job opportunities in the future. You know, it's also important for me, but right now, let me take a step back. Let me go to school part-time and let me work more, and let you go to school full-time and maybe work less, you know, if you can do it, or if you want to work at the same rate. So that was a conversation that we had. So when they were telling us all of these things, it's like we knew it and we were taking it into account.
Again, they were not hearing from us. Like, you know, they were just seeing that, oh, well, you guys are too young, so then don't get married. Are you guys getting married because like she's pregnant? They were talking these points without actually hearing from us, right? It's so important to be with someone that you are equally yoked with, someone that has the same mindset and vision, that is willing to compromise for you. And that is, again, all these things came into me knowing that how that we will be all right, because again, after college I wanted to work, and she came up with this idea that no, go to university and then get a degree, you see. So it's like I think that we had like a partnership where I'm like, okay, this is the kind of woman that I want to build with, right? This is the kind of woman that I see myself with in the future, that if she's willing to give me this advice, imagine, you know, it's look at you, you're feeling yourself in. But you see, so it's all that they were saying was true, but we knew ourselves better. We knew what we wanted. I knew the vision that I had for myself and for my family eventually. So I had to stand on my grounds and tell them that, listen, This is what I'm doing. I appreciate your concerns, but respect our decision.
If you are a man or a woman in a space where you're around our age group, or even the financial aspect is not quite where you would want it to be, you're still building as we are. And I don't think the building aspect is even a matter of age. It's a matter of circumstances, maturity, opportunities in life, and all of those things, right? You're in this way, you're still building. And I feel like there's this pressure sometimes on men specifically to have things together before they even pursue, or before they settle down.
6 figures.
You understand? Or anyways, there's a lot of pressure around that, and again, to each its own. And there are some men that want to have all of those things down before they do get married, and there are some that maybe want to, but they feel like they need to have those things, and I feel like if you're in a space where maybe you're going to kind of like jump and do what we did, it's so important to have a partner that understands. If you're a man, to have a woman that understands, and it's not going to define you by what you have or what you do not have. That is not going to ruin you, your vision, the plans with get me a dozen of roses, take me out on expensive dates and stuff like that, and is really willing to kind of like stick with you in that moment and help you grow rather than tear you down.
Just give an example. Sometimes we want to go to these fancy restaurants and I want to take Letty there, and then she will put me back like, no, this place is too expensive, let's just buy food and have a dinner
in the car,
but again, she understands the vision. So even if I want to treat her sometimes, obviously, there are times that we do.
There are times we do, absolutely. But there are times when I just tell him that, listen, we are getting married, and we have some plans, we have some things in that we're trying to accomplish and whatnot, and we want to build a family and everything. So right now, for me at least, and I know when he does that, it's because he wants to spoil me or whatever, but it's not always necessary right now. Like right now, let's build, let's go. I don't know if it's McDonald's, it's McDonald's. I really don't care. We're together, and we can have quality time with whatever meal is in front of us and whatever space we're in.
We have this mantra that we say, suffer now, enjoy later.
It's so cheesy, guys.
It is, but hey, listen, this is what works for us, right?
And when we say suffer, we're not saying like abusive relationship and all of that. We're saying we always say to each other like, suffer now, enjoy later, in the sense that like fancy date, of course I would love that. Chic restaurant, of course I would love that. But right now, it's sacrifices that I'm willing to make.
Yeah, what are the priorities?
I know we're in a space where we're gonna do that eventually, but right now it's not the biggest thing.
We have all of our lives,
to date each other,
to go on vacations. Another thing that is crazy about church culture and other spaces is that they will criticize you if you get someone pregnant. But then if you bring up that you want to get married young,
they'll criticize you again.
They will talk. That's why you're too young. Why the rush? Is she pregnant?
Yeah.
So it's like no matter what you do, you will get criticized for it. So in my case was, pray and fast so that you have the self-control to not fall into temptation.
Another thing that is just crazy sometimes is that you will have like young adults or even older youth, especially if you're also on top of that from like an African household, maybe you can relate even more, where you see the young adults and older youths living in like sexual immorality, just being out here doing whatever they have to do, but then there is nothing that is said about it, because at that point it's not affecting any shame. It's not bringing any shame yet. It's not affecting anybody's reputation. It's on the low, and then once maybe someone gets pregnant, that's when they start saying something. But then if the same youth, or not youth, maybe young adults, whatever, comes, and tries to do things the right way and say that, okay, I think I want to, get married to this person, all the discouragement is what they will hear at that point, And we're also not saying that any person that is like 21 or 20 that wants to get married, like give them the support. No, of course not. I feel like as a parent, you do have to sit down with your child and see what they're saying, but also give them counsel. And if you also are feeling that they're not ready, and there's like a solid reason for why you're not ready. Fear and concerns, it's normal. I feel like the absence of it, even sometimes from a parent, it's perhaps alarming. I feel like there are some reactions that are to be expected, but at the same time, when there are people that are mature and
they know what they want.
They know what they want, and they're considering these things from all the angles that you're also bringing to them, and we're saying that, okay, this is what we plan on doing. Sometimes it's like, support them.
Yeah.
With Clement specifically, in terms of like the whole education thing that I talked about, and I know it could be controversial for some people, but for me, I see this man doing all that is in his power to make sure that we are pure until marriage, to make sure that he's preserving me, that he's preserving us. Guys, you have no clue moments how often that sometimes we're together in a space, and then his body is doing you understand? Something is happening, and then
you men understand what to
the
struggle is real out here.
And sometimes, especially at the start of a relationship, it being my first and stuff, sometimes I wouldn't even realize what was happening, and Clement, sometimes he would just like push me and then go to the other side of the room, or go towards the window, or just like be putting on his his shoes that he's going for a walk, and I'm like, I don't remember us fighting. What did I do? And the whole time it's because his body was, it was gingering him, and he had to literally just change the environment for us to be okay. And it's things that, of course, he still does, So me seeing how much effort and how much he is doing his best to keep us good, for me, I know that graduating a few semesters after, it's not the end of the world for me, So again, when we want to talk about the realities of getting married young, we just want to highlight a few key points before we end this video of what is important, like the knowing the person that you are embarking on this journey, that you're walking this walk with, because the wrong woman will ruin you and the wrong man will do the same. Right? So it's really just important to be with someone that has the same mindset, that will not define you by what you have as a man and what you do not have, that sees your vision, the potential, and is willing to help you build. Compromise sometimes when it's necessary, until you get to where you guys are striving to get to together.
And also someone that is not materialistic, because again, very young, there's a lot of sacrifices that has to be made in terms of the things that maybe you once enjoyed, some leisure activities. You might have to cut down on some expenses. This person has to be willing to say, I'm not going to be doing this anymore because of the future we have ahead.
Suffer now, enjoy later.
Yeah, suffer now, enjoy later. Again, that is in a context, right?
Right, yeah.
And also maturity, someone that is mature. Sometimes you might be hanging around with some friends that will try and push you away from your vision. Is a person mature enough to say, okay, I'm going to walk with the right group of people that understand what I am aiming at? And there's a verse that says that bad company corrupts good morals. So it's important that you as a man, that you pursue, or you get together with men that are also serious. There are times that I was not seeing my friends as much, and they understood that, they knew that I had a vision, and they knew that, they would always call me and be like, oh, Clement's such a busy guy, he's always doing this stuff. And in spite of all that, they were also encouraging me that, wow, like, we know that this is what you want,
where you guys are going,
and so we're going to try and support you, and we will hang out with you when you're free, right? So that is also very essential.
Yeah, and when we say it's not easy, guys, this is an example of it. It's like, he's working 2 jobs, right? Not because he has to, it's just because of the things that the plans that we have, right? There is also the side where I had to put school on, slow down for a little bit. Not because I have to, but because I wanted to, because we know where we're going, and we're making sacrifices every now and then for it. Thankfully, he's putting the other job soon.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be on one job and try to have a more balanced life. Absolutely. But at the start, that's what I had to do. in order to advance the vision that I wanted. Yeah.
I was gonna say this also for you ladies out there, okay? And I know me, I'm still struggling with this because it's hard when this man is leaving and I'm having to say bye. But that whole suffer now, enjoy later mentality also comes into play when, you know, it's not seeing him as much as I would want to because he's working, you know, and understanding that he's working because that he wants us to have this. And me, I'm like, I just want us to have a day. I just want us to hang out, you know, but I can't see him as much as often, and it's not easy for me because I love him or whatever. But you know, it's also those little sacrifices that we make. So that's another reason why it's really important to be with someone that sees the vision.
Yeah. So that's it, you know, for this video. We hope that you stayed with us until this part. You know, thank you again for watching. We really appreciate it if you subscribe, and then if you like, and you also let us know what you think in the comment section.
Absolutely, guys. Let us know the parts that you were like, the parts that you were like, yes. You know, let us know all of that in the comment sections. Like, share, subscribe. The views be up sometimes with the subscriptions not reflecting. So please subscribe. It's free. Help us grow our channel. We'd really appreciate it. Please just subscribe.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Peace.
Don't know about you, I made up my mind. I ain't playing games, we running out of time. We made such a mess.